Welcome to episode 19 of Nerds and Friends. Today we have our guest, Rashad Hunter, joining us. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Rashad. We're so happy to have you.
Yes. Thank you. I'm a nerd and a friend, so
There you go. Awesome. We have our co-host, Carey DuVal, who I believe you've met before. And then Rashad,
Howdy.
This is Caleb Whittle, one of our other hosts as well.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So let's talk about your acting and your music. Let's dive right into that. What are some of your career goals and what are some of your accomplishments so far that you have?
Career goals. Right now, I'm at a turning point. So I've been little quick backstory. I've been in LA about 2.5, 3 years, depending on where you start counting.
Yeah.
But since then, since I got here, I've been pursuing acting, a lot of background acting, things like that. And this past fall is when I got casted into a non-union feature, which is my first feature film role, biggest role I've had. So that's been cool. And then we've been working on it with Josh and Carey. And then I've been working on getting an agent. Nice. So it was around November, I started this class called Actors Giving Back. And the whole point of this class is different actors in the industry actually coach it. But cool. At the end of it, they have a showcase in front of agents. And that's the whole reason I did that. So now they actually just finished up about 2 weeks ago. And I have 2 agent callbacks. So I have meetings coming up either this week or next week. So my plan is
cool.
That's awesome, man. Congrats. That's great. Those agent callbacks are hard to get.
Yes.
They're really hard to get.
A long time coming. It was a 10-week program. And then so now we're just on the cusp. So hopefully my goal, I actually set a goal last year, is around June. I said by the time I'm 25, which is in June, I wanted to have a speaking role on a major TV film or, some kind of just a big commercial, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But just something that a next step.
There you go, man. Well, I got to say for the viewers, man, and I've been studying acting myself for the last 6 to 8 months, taking classes and stuff. And I got to say, you have a really good, my acting teachers are all about when you're not speaking, responding to the other person's roles. You are really good at bringing energy into a scene and really playing off the other actor's energy and making it your own. So you got talent, man. You got skill. And I can tell you work hard at bringing your character to life. So you're going to kill it, man. I'm excited for you.
And way to manifest that too, right? That goal of by 25, well done.
Yeah. Thank you. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of the way I've done things. It's how I don't know, it's just how my brain works. I'm a big procrastinator. And if I say I'm gonna do something and then, but if I have to, I have to make it a point, even if it's cleaning my room or making my bed. It's all right. There has to be a schedule. There have to be
That's
Definite definition of a smart goal right there. That's actually super cool.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your music, man, because I've seen you post stuff on social media. You've got talent there as well. Let's talk about your music.
So music for me is it was more of a hobby most of my life. I grew up, I've always loved singing, dancing. I was when I was little, now I'm saying out loud, I think I just like attention. I just like performing. But when I was little, I was just, our family Christmas parties. It was oh, hey, Rashad, come sing that song. Come do that dance. I'm oh, okay. And then I go at it, but, I was kind of thrust into it, but I love doing it. But it wasn't until senior year of high school, I had some friends, we made a mixtape. Nice. And it was, we put it online. We were super hyped about it. We recorded in the backseat of my car on an iPad with GarageBand. And it was great for when we first listened to it. And then every time we listen to it, we're wow, this is really trash. This is really terrible. So last year, and again, it was just, I always loved music, dabbling with it, I would write and things like that. But last year, actually around this time last year, me and my friends, we wanted to shoot a music video because I did write a song and shoot a music with a friend in college. That went well. And I was
is that the one about you moving to Hollywood? Because I've seen that. It's good.
Not that one, but that was last year. So that was what I'm coming into. So we did that, and it was just randomly we wanted to do a music video. I rapped, and then it was oh, let's write a song. So actually took part of the song from 4 years prior from a bad mixtape, and it was just like, and I tweaked it, wrote more, and made it better, you know. And then we went out and we shot it, and it was just like, it was all in one weekend. We finished writing the song, recorded it, and shot it just for something to do, just to be creative. Awesome. And then it was actually really cool. And then I'm actually currently, and then that kind of just from there just re-sparked my interest. Now it's like, okay, I actually want to do this. So like more than just a hobby, I actually want to put more into performing music and acting as well.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Doesn't it feel great to just like be creative and actually like put stuff out there?
Exactly.
Like, I've been doing that more lately, and it just feels so good.
Right. So with music, I'm just going to I'm actually working on like a EP right now, and it's been going for a while. You know, you hit bumps in the road. I actually just got to a point where I set up some recording equipment in my room.
Nice.
And now it's like, okay, I have to eliminate my excuses now. Get things going. And
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah, and just and really just try to, like you said, Josh, I've been posting stuff, trying to build more of a social media presence.
Yeah.
Because like that's, you know, nowadays it's like the easiest, if not the only way to like make a name for yourself, especially like music, things like that, because people are popping off left and right nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool to like be able to complete that circuit, like actually get, you know, and the interesting thing about the internet, especially if you're making, you know, music, art, anything, is if you fit into any sort of niche, the people that are going to find it are the people that are generally within that niche. And I'm wondering like how your style has evolved, because you were talking about how, you know, you listened to that first track you recorded in the back of the car, and you guys said now that it was garbage. But like what specifically have you learned and shifted to increase your musicality?
I think the biggest thing was just being who I am with music, and then actually when you speak something that's genuine, people read that, and it's like people actually, you know, vibe with that. And it's just like the music I listen to like a wide range of different things, but at the same time, how I portray myself, how I want to like come across other people. I want to be, you know, uplifting. I want to be, you know, somewhat positive. So, and like mainstream, especially like as like a rapper or hip hop, like mainstream is not very, you know, it's very like sexual energy, like very money charged, drugs involved. It's like I can't, and a lot of people, they rap about, like I've seen those things growing up, but like I can't rap about a life that I didn't live, which is a lot of like one of the big things in the industry. People do that and like sell out, I guess, in a way. But I mean, it's branched out. Like hip hop's so wide. It's not just like negative things. It's like a lot of different things going on. But I think the biggest thing that people like, I've gotten good feedback because people say, "Oh, you speak truly. We resonate with what you're saying. Like you're motivating, you're vibing with people, and you're just being like, you know, being you." So I think that's the best way to, you know, create art, and like people see that through your work.
That is super cool.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Real quick, I wanted to introduce Will. He's one of our other co-hosts. He's an artist and illustrator, so we're happy to have him on the podcast as well to come join us.
I will.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good.
Round table of nerddom here.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's good. Well, Rashad, I had a question for you. So if you had to go on a road trip with the main character of the last TV show you watched, who would that be and how would it go?
Oh goodness. Man, the last TV show?
Yeah.
All right, so I was just watching SpongeBob about 30 minutes ago.
Yes. Yeah. I love SpongeBob.
Man, I mean, I feel like it would go great, but at the same time, man, he's a lot. He can talk.
Yep.
We vibed for a while. I know we'd be singing songs the whole way through.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
more of a matter of like, yeah, it's more of a matter of like how much can you put up with? Like, sure, we're eating ice cream, but
right. Have you seen it was like it's been like internet memes, things like that. It's like, oh, like when we were young, we used to like love SpongeBob, and then we grow up to realize we were more like Squidward.
Yeah,
like we can't. Like, we're just so stressed out. We're just done with the world and everything.
Just walking around.
like happy people make us mad. Like
Yeah. That's adulting right there, where you're just like, they don't get to have fun.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah. I grew up in a city, and so like as an adult, like somebody says, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Why are you talking to me? Like, who the heck are you?"
Yeah,
Leave me alone.
that's something I've had to get used to now.
Yeah.
I came from grew up in Tennessee and like just grew up around the South, so it's just like you say hi to everybody, the neighbor, you know your neighbors and stuff like that, and here you hold the door. It's just a little bit different. People are nice generally, like when I see you around here, but at the same time, people just mind their own business. Like they don't speak to you if they don't have to. It's just like, okay.
Oh yeah. I was actually in South Carolina not that long ago to visit my grandma, who has a farm out there in rural, like real rural South Carolina. And you go there,
Rural
like,
with almost no R's. Like that's how rural it is. It's almost just
Exactly.
Yeah, you go out there, you eat at the Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
You walk in, everybody says, "Oh, hi, how are you doing? How's your mom?" I'm like, what? I don't know my mom.
Yeah. That's how it be.
Oh, that's great.
Rashad, what's the craziest like LA experience you've had so far?
How much can we talk about?
No filter on here, man. Whatever you want to say.
All right, so
let the lawyers come for us. All of us are broke anyway.
So this
don't worry, we're not monetized. We can get away with anything.
Actually, we are now by Instacart.
Son of a bitch. Well,
so far we have made $0, but it's cool.
Yo, all right. So I feel like the craziest thing all right, this is back when, all right, so 2019, I just moved in June. This is now August. We're celebrating my roommate's birthday party. So we're living in Koreatown. We go to this little, it's like a little, like, not really a club, but like a bar, lounge, kickback type. It's vibey. People are dancing and stuff, but not like a huge thing. So I'm there and I go to the restroom and it's like, the line for the bathroom. And those things, it's just like, one man bathroom, one man in, one man out. So I'm like, I'm standing at the urinal doing my business. And all of a sudden, and I thought I locked the door, a guy busts in and I'm still, I'm just like looking over my shoulder like, oh, okay, hey, so I'm not paying attention. And it's weird because there are actually two toilets. There was a urinal and like a regular toilet. So I'm at the urinal. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not a big deal. And this guy's just like in the corner doing, I don't know. I just hear shuffling and ruffling around. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So all I hear is, I don't know, I just hear, hey man, you want some? I look over my shoulder. This man is like, has a bump of coke, like, just like, and he's like, he snorts it right in front of me. And like, I'm fresh out of Tennessee. I've never seen this before in my life. I don't know what it looked like. The only thing I've seen was like on TV. So I've never seen this before. And it's like, and he's like, hey, you want some? And he was like, and I'm so weirded out. One, I'm in the bathroom. My stuff is out. He busted it in. Two, how nice and polite he was about it. It's like, hey, you want he would just offer a stranger, and I'm like,
hey man, here you go.
I don't know much about that world, but I don't think that's that cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it would have been rude not to offer.
Right. It's just like
he's being a good host in that bathroom right there.
He's being a good host. And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. And then I leave, and I'm just like, and then I go back to my friends, like, yo, this dude just offered me like coke, like, is that common here? Like, and it's like, I don't know, like we all moved from different places, like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that was probably my first crazy, like, weird thing that just blew my mind.
Yeah, that's a good LA story right there.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
That's awesome. Well, I was wondering, Caleb, do you have any questions for Rashad, since you work in music as well, about his process or anything like that?
I mean, I used to work in music. I wouldn't say I do anymore. But I'm really curious, like, do you create any of the, do you produce it all, or is it all rapping on beats that you find, or do you work with the producer? Like, what's your process there for like the creation of a song?
Gotcha. So far, it's been rapping on beats that I find off like YouTube or and like I would like, you know, buy the lease for the beat. And then recently, since I've put that one song out, I've had people reach out, like friends reach out to me and be like, hey, I made this track. You want to work with me? And like, so I'm getting more in tune with producers as well, and trying to find some more. But like, basically the people I've worked with so far and people I'm working on projects currently is like through mutual friends who make music, things like that. So I'm actually, since I've got myself set up, I do want to start producing more. And I'm still playing around with it, still very new to it. But the goal is to be able to produce my own things. Nice. But so far, I want to still learn from like different people, different producers, work with them. Yeah. So just a little bit of everything, you know.
Yeah, I love the creative process that happens. Like, I follow Logic quite a bit, and so like to see him create like break beats on the MPC and like going into like, okay, like cutting up this sample and using it over here, like that process is really cool and really interesting to me. So I'm always like, hey, like, what is it? Just playing with sounds and then you're like, ooh, something just clicked right there. Let's dive in deeper and like recreate that. Like how are you approaching, even though you may be early on in terms of the production side of things, like how do you approach that creative process of just sounds or finding the right sound?
Yeah, well, pretty much since like I've played with like, you know, played with a couple beats, just making them, and like I feel like I've kind of just listened to like my own like internal rhythm, I guess. Growing up in school, I was like the kid that was always like tapping on my desk or like tapping on my pencil. Like I was always making like some kind of beat and like or like pissing my mom off in the back of the car. I'm like tapping on the seat, you know, just being extra. But so I'm always like, I'm literally, I don't know, Josh, if you've seen me on set, I can't be still. I'm always like doing something.
No, you got a great energy, man.
You know,
it brings all of us up, you know?
So it's really just literally just experimenting, and same thing with like beatboxing. I'll do that, like just, you know, waiting on an elevator. So, and it's just like, just experimenting, just like making noises here and there and just like, you know, plug and play, just trial and error. And it's kind of just like, oh, this is all right. Put a hi-hat, put a bass, put a snare. Yep. All right, let's switch it all the way around. And it's just like go back and forth here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. And so finally you're like, okay, this sounds like something. And this is how you know you're on a roll, when you're like, you start off, you're like, okay. And like the more your head's moving, that's how you know
there you go.
Like, oh,
yeah, that's the measure. The head bobbing.
Yeah, but if you're just sitting there still, I'm like, okay, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything yet. But it builds.
I think that's so interesting to like the creative process too, is like just experimenting, right? Like you don't know what you don't know, so you have to experiment to know what you can end up knowing and know what sounds good. So that's really cool. The experimentation for sure.
And it's literally just jump in, and that's kind of how I go about like learning new things. Just like I just want to try stuff. Like I just want to do stuff. So I just do it. And then like, there's nothing a YouTube video can't fix.
Exactly. Yes.
And so,
yeah.
I'm currently learning 3D art on YouTube. So, you know, going through it right now.
Nice.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of resources there. I was going to actually ask, have you ever tried to like had like a final product in mind before you started, or it's always just been just experimentation and see what you end up with?
As far as me making my own beats, it's always been experimenting. And because I haven't made a beat that I have like recorded my own song on yet. It's literally just been like, oh, I'm just like, you know, messing around, playing around, because I haven't like built up enough confidence in myself to like make my own beat. But like when someone brings me, hey, I have a friend who gave me like he actually produces, and he like, you know, gave me like 10 tracks and like, hey, I want to work with you on something. Like, can you like pick a couple songs out of this if you see which one you want to do? So like I picked one, and this is mostly how I write songs too. Like I'll find like a beat that I like, and then whatever like vibe that beat's giving me is like, okay, like this sounds like it'd be like, you know, a cool song about this, a cool song about that. And I kind of write to like whatever the rhythm is or whatever the vibe's giving off. So I kind of see like there's an end in mind, and I kind of like, it's like plug and play. Like now I just got to solve for X, which are the words or something like that, you know?
That's cool. Yeah, you're plugging in variables and you're building something as you go.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
They say we never use math in the real world.
We do sometimes.
Yeah.
It's very intuitive. I've gotten back recently into a genre called electro swing, because I used to be big into jazz and swing back in high school, just because I was a band nerd. But one of the things I think is so cool about it is I'll listen to somebody like Parov Stellers, who I've been listening to a lot, and he'll straight up grab things from dudes like Stuff Smith and Howlin' Wolf and like all these old guys, and he'll take a song that like and it's beyond sampling, because he'll change the tone of a whole song by layering on top of it different beats and different concepts. And I love how that can come around, because like even like the old school 60s and 70s like OG rock of the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin, there's so much muddy waters in that you can't distinguish it. Like it's amazing.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, Rashad, as an actor, what are some of your career goals? I know you mentioned that by 25, you want to have a speaking role on a major production. And what are some of your longer term goals as an actor? Like what kind of legacy do you want to have, you know?
Oh, yes. So there's a few people that I'm inspired by that I kind of want to be, like them, but still want to do my own thing. But yeah. I kind of like, that's like my easiest way analogy. But if you look at Donald Glover,
yes,
he's one of those people who like, I'm very like, it's like multifaceted. Like I want to have my hand in like so many different things. And like you look at this man, like, you know, successful career in music, successful actor. He's done stand-up, writer, right?
The stand-up is hilarious.
Yes. And it's just like I want to like kind of do like stuff like that, because I want to do one stand-up, at least one day.
I'll be there. I love stand-up comedy. I'll be there to support you.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm funny sometimes. Like people laugh every now and then, you know. So, and it's just like music, and it's just like so I want to, again, you know, you're talking as an actor, every actor wants to be the star of something. So like, I want to like, you know, be a recurring, like if I had to pick between like a movie or a recurring role on a TV show, I pick the TV show right now.
Yep.
Because you look at Community, something he was casted in, and then you look at Atlanta, what he created, and it's just like, it's two different worlds, but he's still, you know, all over it. And then I do want to, I've had ideas about like shows I want to create myself.
Nice.
And so that's another thing. So as that builds up, kind of take that path where I'm like, I'm on a show, and then with that experience, like make my own, create stuff. Like I want to direct, like I want to direct my own music videos, direct other people's music videos, and just have my hand in just literally anything and everything. And it's like, that's the hardest part about, I think, being like young in the industry or very new to the industry, is like, you can accomplish all of those things, but you need to do one thing at a time. That's my hardest thing, is just like, I want to have like, I'm like this all over the place. So just that one step at a time, just like, keep building to where the point where I'm creating my own things. I'm directing, like a lot of great actors, like Denzel's, you know, directing now, Kerry Washington's directing now, and then just like all, you know, it gets to that point. It's like, okay, I want to step out of the light. I want to like help other people rise. I want to, the acting class I took, one of the people I worked with a lot was Annalise Vanderpool, which was like
from That's a Raven.
From That's a Raven. So I got really cool with her, and she's like one of the coaches. So I want to be
That's
able to,
awesome.
Yes. So it's like a lot of, actually, it's a really great program. It was started by the guy, David DeLuise, the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, okay.
He founded it. So it's a lot of Disney Channel, like past Disney Channel, Nickelodeon stars.
That's
and
cool.
You know, they coach like young adults and kids, and like, you know, break them into the industry. So I want to give back that way as well. Like eventually, like join that roster of coaches. You know,
That's
and just
awesome.
like to help people who, all in all, I want to, like, with my work and my legacy, my career, I want to inspire just kids, especially like coming from, I came from a little town in Tennessee where, 50,000 people, it's boring. No one talks about being an actor. I was very shy about talking about that, because I grew up playing football, and I was like, oh, he's a football player, but so I didn't really talk about to my friends about like wanting to like move to LA, move to Hollywood, do this kind of stuff. But just be able to show people and then like tell people like you can do anything. You could be anything. It's been proven over and over again.
I got chills. I got chills, man. We can do whatever we want if we put our minds to it.
Exactly.
Great.
And it's like sometimes someone just needs that push. Someone just needs to, like, these messages we've heard over and over again, but like sometimes it just takes that right. You need to hear it at the right moment from the right person.
Yep.
And get that little extra push. And like I've had a lot of people who have like given me a lot of encouragement, a lot of guidance, a lot of like sacrifice for me. So of course I want to do that for someone else,
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, that is so damn cool.
That's awesome.
What was the kickoff point or the turning point for you where you made the jump into where you're at now? Like you mentioned growing up, you weren't really vocal about it. So like what was the point in your life where you're like, all right, I'm gonna go do this now?
Right. So it was actually like a slow build. You got time for a little backstory?
We sure do.
Heck yeah.
Cool. It was actually like a slow build. So growing up, it was me, like I had a big extended family, but me and my sister, and then I had like 4 other cousins, and like the most fun we had, I feel like as a family when it came to like my parents involved was sitting around a TV. If it was like watching movies, watching like, Pixar movies or something like that, me and my dad, like my dad's favorite movie, he will tell you it's Shrek.
Yeah.
Like, so I was watching that with him, and it's just like, me and my parents, we didn't do a lot of like trips, a lot of vacations, things like that. It's not something like a lot of my other cousins or friends did that stuff. And like, most of our family bonding was running TV. So just laughing and just like watching, SpongeBob, watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, watching Seinfeld, watching like Full House, like all that stuff, man. It's just like I would laugh and like enjoy myself, and I just wanted to like. So growing up, and then like on Disney Channel, I always want to be that kid. Like it was just like it was something like a kid dreamed about, but it's like it wasn't something that was talked about that was tangible.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had that in the back of my mind. I played like every sport growing up, and then once I got to high school, I got into I started doing theater.
Nice.
So it was like I just dabbled. I wanted to take the class, and then there was like this thing called forensics where I don't know why it was called, but it was basically like theater tournaments, like theater track meets.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like it was the debate club stuff.
Yeah,
you could do monologues.
Like debates, and then like there'd be we even had like different schools. We'd have like improv competitions. Like it'd be you and a partner, and it's so crazy how they set this up because I had never heard of it. But like improv duet, like little monologues and things like that, just different events. Like say you have a single monologue or a 2-person like little skit or like improv competition. So it'd be like I'd be playing Friday night football games, and the Saturday morning I'd get up and do like a drama competition.
That's
so
awesome.
I was literally like high school, like Troy Bolton from High School Musical, like juggling these 2 things. And stuff like. But then again, and then I took a media, some kind of media class we had that was brand new to our school. And it was broadcasting, basically like broadcast news. And then we kind of I learned that was my first time learning how to edit. First time looking at a Mac computer. And I was like, so I started messing around like with different projects, playing with videos. I'm like, oh, I really like this. So once I got into the drama world mixed with like that world, I was like, oh, wow, like I'm really, like that was my only thing I was really interested in when you talk about career-wise is like something involving like performing or like media and TV. So looking at colleges, I was like, I want to go to like a film program. And I'm looking at like, now is that time I'm looking up like film programs, top best film schools in the country. And I'm like, whoa, these are out of my price range, right? And it's just like, and I wasn't like highly recruited for football. And it's like, okay, I mean, I'll be okay if I don't play football. But I found a school called Carson Newman University. It was a Division II school where it had a film program. It was an hour away from home. And they also had like football. So I ended up like recruiting myself. I went and me and my dad talked to their coaches and like, oh yeah, let's like, we'll have you like looked at my tape and stuff. We'll have you like walk onto the team. So I decided on that school so I could do both. And then from there, still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I hadn't said I wanted to be an actor yet, but I had at that point in time, I decided I want to work in film and TV. Because you watch a movie, a million names go by, and it's like, I want to be somewhere in there. Like I could, like there's got to be somewhere, something I could do. I still had no idea what I want to do, but I still wasn't ready to pull the trigger and be like, I want to be the one, like, you know, on camera. Yeah. So I go through college, and then it's my senior year. You know, I got into the game, playing football, like here and there, like a lot of special teams. My senior year of college, like after like working my way up, this is the year I'm actually getting reps at, like, as a starter. I should be a starter this year, beginning of the season. And also, there's a program in our college that I heard about my sophomore year called Los Angeles Film Studies Center. So basically a bunch of, like, it was a small Christian school. So kids from small like schools who have, they don't have like big film programs, but there was this thing where like you could basically study abroad in LA with different kids from around the schools that were in that network. So I found out about that, and that was my plan. So I applied and everything. So it's my senior year of college. I tear my meniscus.
Oh no!
And the very beginning of the season, and it's like, it's something that you can work your way back into. You know, it's not that I'm most devastating, but it did require surgery and things like that. But in that same week, I found out I got into this LA program. So I literally saw that as like doors open, doors closed. And that spring semester, I was in LA for 3 months playing around. I'm like, okay. And once I got to LA, it was it. Like, I fell in love with LA. This is what I want to do. One of my classes elected was like an acting class. And like from there, once I was like thrown into this world, and I'm seeing all these creative people doing what they want to do, but also, you know, these are people who, like, regular people, like they work their day job and they work on their craft to get them to where they want to do. And I'm like, wow, I want to be part of this world. Yeah. And that was like that's like the evolution of it all. And it's like, once I got here, I was able to say, yo, I want to, you know, go at it. So I went home after the program was over. I went home, graduated, came right back.
That's awesome.
That is cool as hell, man. That's an awesome story.
That's my story.
That's a good story.
I can relate to you a lot in a couple of really big ways, because a lot of people, like, you think of like how expensive like law school or medical school, but nobody ever considers like the third most expensive college program you can do is an art school,
right?
And just like trying to work with that, it's just it's a lot of work, and I gotta imagine a lot of pressure too. I played sports back in high school, and when I was doing varsity football, I got a lot of pressure from the coaches and stuff to put aside. I was working as an artist at the time, doing caricatures at an amusement park, and there was a lot of pressure for me to just quit that job and just focus on football. So I gotta imagine, like, did you have to deal with a lot of pressure of people just trying to push you away from from acting and all of that, and just get you to focus on sports?
Definitely. Not so much as sports. My parents were very, like, for one, like, my dad was like, you know, one of those, like, hey, do whatever you want to do, like, I'll be behind you. But it was more of like my own pressures I put on myself. Because like, just like you said, like, thinking about like, okay, these are hard schools to get, medical, law, hard schools to get into. But at least, like, you go to medical school, at least, you know, at the end of that, like, all you have to do is go to school, study, take that test, and if you pass, you're a doctor. Once you go all the way through film school, like, there's still not that great of a chance where you're not immediately a director just because you went to film school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's still that return on investment. That was very scary to me. And like a lot of people to like, just to take that risk, like, yo, I have a 4-year degree, but they don't ask for that when I like apply to be a PA. Like,
I gotta say, I never finished college, and not once have I ever been asked for a college degree when applying for an art job.
Exactly. Exactly.
Funny how that works.
Funny how that works. But it's just like, wow. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, if I knew what I knew now, I would have skipped college and came straight here. Yeah. But I wouldn't be here without college. So it's like, I'm like, wait. So I circle back around. It's like, man, if I didn't go, I probably wouldn't be in this like situation anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go, you don't have the experience.
Right.
But with the experience, you wouldn't have gone.
Exactly.
That catch 22.
That's exactly.
But in a good way, because you're in a great spot and you're going to keep doing awesome. Because I've seen you work on camera, man. I've seen you work on set. Like, you're going to be a rock star, man. You got this.
Thank you so
much. You got a lot of
man.
talent and a great energy, great personality. So you're going to kill it out there.
And means a lot. That means a lot, for real.
Thank you. Well, guys, does anyone else have any other questions for Rashad? Or that was an awesome podcast, man. Thank you so much for being on here. We really appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you for guys, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this is what made me stay in LA. One little thing I want to add. Like, so the other pressure that was kind of holding me back when I was in this, I had a girlfriend at the time who, like, we went to school, or we went to different colleges, but she was like a year behind me still, like going to like nursing school. So my original plan was to graduate, save up money to move to Atlanta, get the film scene there. But once I got to LA, it was like, I was talking to her, I was like, like, this is the move.
Yep.
Like, I want to go to LA. And she was still, she tried to support me, but she was still hesitant because she wasn't ready to, like, up and leave like her family there. And then also she didn't want to like do like long distance type thing. And so it was just like, that was a hard, tough battle. And like, I finally convinced her, like, okay, I'm gonna move to LA. We'll be fine. We'll work for a year, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, that didn't work out too well.
Sorry.
But we're going great terms still. We're still cool. She's doing her thing now. I'm doing my thing now. And, it's just like one of those things where, if you're going this way and a clear path, go for it. If you see like what you're called to, go for it.
That's awesome.
And then, but
pursuing our dreams. I love it.
Exactly.
Pursuing
Most
our dreams.
awesome.
That's gonna work out.
Imagine in the film industry, it really matters who you know, and like, there's no better place to be than where everyone lives.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Rashad, where can people find you?
Where can people find me? They can find me anywhere. Actually, I'm just all over the place. But on Instagram, I'm really trying to put in a lot more energy into. Actually, have something to post today. Another little verse, little music thing that I did with one of my friends. But on Instagram, Bomani_Shad. That is my artist name.
Okay.
Awesome.
How'd you come up with your artist name? I'm curious.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to use. I love this question. I wanted to use my name, like, just Shad is what like my family calls me, and then I was like, and my mom used to call me like just random variation of those names, like Shadi Shad, and I was like looking them up, and I was just like typing very different variations to see if someone already had that name on YouTube, and I was like, man, there's so many people like on Spotify with that name and this name and that name. And I'm just like, man, I want to be unique. I want to be my own thing. And then I was looking for something that would like give like a meaning, and like my name, like Rashad means like right guidance or leader, something like that. But just Shad itself means warrior.
Oh, nice.
And then so I was like going through names, and then I was talking to my parents about it, and my dad like threw this one word out. He's like, oh, these names mean different things. Like, he's literally looking at baby names at this point. And he's like, oh, this word named Bomani, it means warrior. And I'm like, oh, whoa. So like, I was like, what if I just put them together? Because I still want to keep Shad in my name. So I was like, Bomani Shad. And it's like, whenever I'm on stage now, I explain that as like, Bomani Shad means warrior. And that's, for me, that really hits home, and it like describes me as a person. Like, I've had to fight tooth and claw for, everything that I've like earned, everything that I've gotten has been like a fight. So I always feel like a warrior. It's not, nothing has ever came easy to anyone, especially in this industry. You got to be a warrior to survive out here, especially like in LA. So that's what,
for sure.
So it kind of resonated with me. So it felt like the right move to make.
That's awesome, man.
Bomani Shad. Cool.
Bomani Shad, yes.
Yep.
Love it.
We got you on Instagram. Are you on other platforms like TikTok or Twitter?
So actually, I'm on a whole new social media construction. My TikTok that I had wasn't really I wasn't really on it much, but I'm starting a new TikTok page actually this week. And just starting, and it's probably gonna be like around like the same name, Bomani Shad again. Cool. But once I get things going, I have a YouTube channel as well that I'm kicking off And then all that info is basically Instagram right now is my main hub. So
Nice.
all my like you actually caught me at the place where I'm going through this whole like transformation, like a rebranding in a way. But all that info is going to be my Instagram, my link trade, things like that.
Dude,
cool.
hell yeah. Keep us updated, and we'll put that in the description of the podcast so people can follow you.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good
Thank you
branding
so
too,
much.
just having that same across platform.
Yep.
Yep.
Was that? Oh, I missed that.
I said that's just also good branding when you get that same name across platform.
Right. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Awesome, man. Well, Rashad, thank you so much for your time. This has been Nerds and Friends. We really appreciate having you. Great podcast, everyone.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
Of course.
Thanks, boss.